You're listening to Randall's Thoughts on HBCU Pulse Radio.
Yes, so on today's Randall's Thoughts, I want to spend some time speaking about Vice President Kamala Harris. You know, it seems as if the moment that President Joe Biden was sworn into office, there's been chatter about the 2024 presidential elections. A key topic has been if Joe Biden will seek re-election, and if he does, if Kamala Harris will remain on the ticket as vice president. The talking point of VP Harris being replaced as President Biden's running mate has picked up steam in recent weeks and was even mentioned in her recent interview with NBC's Andrea Mitchell.
Dozens of Democratic leaders are saying that think that he's the strongest candidate. They don't think that you're the right person to be on the ticket. Why do you think that?
I think that it is very important to focus on the needs of the American people and not political chatter out of Washington, D.C.
Now, I personally believe that this talking point of Vice President Kamala Harris being replaced on the 2024 re-election ticket, as well as the belief that she's been invisible during her tenure, I believe is asinine. I really want people to understand that Vice President Kamala Harris is one of the best vice presidents in the history of the country. I'd go as far as to say that she's been the best vice president that we've ever seen. And I don't think that's a baseless opinion. My belief that she's one of the best vice presidents in history is rooted in fact based on her performance in this position. If we're talking about her accomplishments as vice president, we can start with the constitutional duty of the position. Two of the key responsibilities of vice president is to preside over the Senate and break ties as needed in Senate voting. VP Harris has cast 26 tie-breaking votes in the Senate, the most in modern history and the third most ever. One of her tie-breaking votes led to the passage of the American Rescue Plan, which included a $2 trillion COVID relief bill and $2.7 billion for HBCUs. By the Constitution, she's doing her job. Outside of acting as the president, if the sitting president is removed or incapacitated, that's her job. But even outside of the scope of her job, she's doing other things as vice president that is not a requirement. That is her job. But she's even doing things that's not in her job description. How about her using her platform as vice president to advocate for voting rights, and specifically the passing of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act? What about her advocacy for HBCUs as an alumna of Howard University that has led to record numbers of funding from the administration? And this is something that she's always fought for, even as a senator. What about her being the main representative for the Biden administration on diplomatic relations? I can go on and on about the amazing things that Vice President Kamala Harris has been doing in her tenure. But we should get down to the real issue. VP Harris has never had a fair shot from the start. She's had to endure baseless attacks that simply are not rooted in facts, engineered to weaken her chances to become president. Many people have been swayed by the disinformation about her heritage, job performance, and even her time as prosecutor. Vice President Kamala Harris is a talented politician with an accomplished career as a prosecutor, district attorney, and U.S. senator. She's just as qualified, if not more qualified, to be in this position than anyone else in history or currently right now in politics. Even with the shifting expectation of what the vice president should do, she continues to set the standard. We have to continue to combat the misinformation about Vice President Kamala Harris and allow her to do her job and get a fair shot for the future. So what we did is we have a full breakdown of VP Harris's key accomplishments on HBCUPulse.com. So make sure to go to our website to check it out and make sure to share it to ensure that we get the right narrative out about our Vice President, Kamala Harris. So I need you to make sure to check that article out on HBCUPulse.com and share it to make sure that we get the right narrative out about Vice President Kamala Harris as we approach election season, which is coming up really soon.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to HBCUPulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.